Hey guys, what's going on? Today's video is going to be on Tony Horton's book, The Big Picture, 11 Laws That'll Change Your Life. If you don't know who Tony Horton is, he's the guy behind P90X, so he's definitely hugely into fitness and eating right and all that good stuff. This book really covers a wide range of topics from your body, attitude, relationships, doing what you love, finding your purpose, and more. By connecting all these different aspects in your life, you can start to see the big picture. First and foremost, you have to take a step back and really evaluate your life. The big picture starts with finding your true self. Tony believes in order to do that, you have to follow some basic fundamentals like eating right, exercising, and taking the time to sleep and relax. When you don't hit these basics, you won't be able to hit your true potential. So let's jump right into the laws. Law 1 is do your best and forget the rest. This is really my favorite law of all of them because I believe that when you're in the moment, you do your best and then you don't sit there and dwell on would've, could've, should've. You just move on. You learn your lessons, of course, but you move on. You don't dwell on it. Always do the best in whatever you do. If you're not perfect, then that's fine. No one's perfect. When you strive for perfection, you'll be overly critical of yourself. So forget the rest means not letting the same things that used to get in your way. So walk away with the knowledge that you did everything, you prepared, and you gave it everything you had. And then forget about it. Again, do your best and don't be attached to the outcome. Stop worrying about failure, stop worrying about what other people think, and stop making excuses. No one, including yourself, can fault you for trying. Law 2 is about finding your purpose. Have you ever sat down and asked yourself, what's my purpose in life? One of the most important questions you can ask yourself. Examine your goals and why you want to attain them. As Tony states, if it has to do with money, vanity, reputation, or material stuff, forget about that garbage. If you ever really want to reach your goals, you must have an important why behind it. Otherwise, you'll either won't meet your goal, or you'll be wasting your time going in the wrong direction. As Friedrich Nietzsche says, he who has a why to live for can bear almost any how. So are you on autopilot, or are you pushing yourself every day to fulfill your purpose, your priorities, and your mission statement? Yeah, it's hard and scary to break through your limitations, but it's worth it. It's worth it when you look back on your life and know that you did something. Are you holding back because you're worried about failure? I totally agree with Tony when he stated, failure should be renamed awesome. Remember, failure and success don't exist without each other. You can't have one without the other. And as Winston Churchill says, success consists of going from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm. Most of the time, a lot of successful people have had a lot of failures in the past. You kind of need all those failures to get you to that point. When considering your purpose, think about how it will serve you and those around you. Also consider how it will impact you 5 to 10 years down the road. How will it serve and empower me? Is it really my purpose or one that someone else has assigned to me? Tony adds, while on your way to fulfill your purpose, don't forget to smell the roses and enjoy the journey. Law 3 is have a plan. Once you have a purpose, plot a course in a new direction to strategize. Do you want to continue barely getting by, or do you want to do something bigger with your life? It seems daunting, but it's easy. Get your life together, decide what you want, and get a plan. Start with the basics. Sleep 8 hours, eat right, and exercise. Cut back on the crappy food and crappy habits you have. Start scheduling what's important to you. Schedule your workouts. Start menu planning and food journaling. Aim to eat clean 80 to 90% of the time. Be fiercely committed to making small improvements every day, and if something isn't working, adjust your plan as necessary. Law 4 is about variety. As Alan Watts says, variety is the spice of life. Don't be afraid to mix things up and try new things. Incorporate some spontaneity and creativity into every area of your life, from fitness to eating to relationships to work. Be open-minded and again, open to change. Be curious. Your tastes and needs will change, so adapt to them. If something isn't fun anymore, change it up. As Tony says, there's a fine line between honoring tradition and holding on to the past. So examine your habits, your hobbies, your possessions, your thoughts, and actions. Ask, are they serving me? If not, try something new. Focus on small things first. Make small changes, celebrate wins, and keep making changes. Law 5, consistency reigns supreme. Be consistent with the activities that serve you, especially with your workouts. If you're inconsistent or only working out every other day, one day will likely lead to 2, 3, 4 days off, and so on. Think of working out as a keystone habit because it impacts all your other activities, your diet, your sleep, stress levels, and so on. Repetition with your healthy activities is key. If you keep doing the same activity, eventually you'll make it into a habit. so make a plan, hold yourself accountable, and plug into your purpose. As Tony says, improvement and growth occur when you do things repeatedly and often. It doesn't have to be perfect, just do it anyway. Law 6 is crank up the intensity. Dig deep mentally and emotionally. As Nelson Mandela says, there is no passion to be found in playing small, in settling for a life less than one you are capable of living. So, focus on how you're doing things and try to evolve your style, technique, and methods. Again, small incremental improvements. Basically, dial it up a notch. Variety, consistency, and intensity work together, so let's sum those three up. Variety will bring improvement to your overall success by preventing plateaus, boredom, and injury. And consistency is basically practice, and we all know that practice makes you better. The more you practice, the more it turns into a habit. And then you add intensity, you dial it up a notch. As Tony says, get out there, have a blast, and help friends, family members, co-workers, and your community to make the most out of their lives. Life is not about feeding your ego, life is about living. Law 7, love it or leave it. You have to keep fun in the mix if you want any chance executing your plan and in turn your goals. If you're not having fun, then you're not going to follow through. Life is way too short not to explore the things you love. In short, question if a particular practice is in line with your purpose. Is the habit serving you? If not, drop it. If you want to reduce stress, you need to have more fun by doing what you love. It's crucial to your survival. We aren't meant to sustain periods of chronic stress, so do more of what you love. If you have a job you hate, make a plan to change that. If you're getting bored in any aspect of life, you're not loving it. So find a way to change it up and make it more fun. You have to love it. Let your inner child out. We're all kids at heart, but somewhere along the line we stop having as much fun. Probably because we're too stressed thinking about bills, responsibilities, work, obligations, and so on. We've taken the role of mature human beings to an extreme. So tap into that joyful part inside and feed your soul. One caveat though, life isn't always a party, right? You need to put in some hours doing something you may not love for a result that you do love. These are called trade-offs. You have to check in with the activities that you may not enjoy to see if they're serving you. Not everyone likes running, but the benefits it provides is a good trade-off. Being aware of the results that an activity provides makes it much more enjoyable. They become less of a chore and more of an investment. This is not only true in fitness, but also finances. Sure, it might be hard to save and put off impulse buying, but when you think about the goal that you're trying to achieve, stopping yourself from impulse buying doesn't become so difficult. Take on challenges, but make sure the end game is worth it. Bottom line, ask yourself, why am I doing this? Make sure it's in line with your plan and your purpose. It's a balancing act. If it's stressing you out too much, you're taking a big toll on your health. There's no point in being overly unhappy, anxious, and stressed, no matter what the reward is. Law 8 is about getting real. There's two kinds of people in the world, hiders and seekers. Seekers have the courage to be honest with themselves, constantly check in, and have the self-awareness to confront their issues. They're willing to admit when they need to improve, flaws in their judgment, and mistakes they've made. They keep themselves accountable. The other kind of person is a hider. They're afraid of change, they're afraid to try anything new, and they don't face their problems. They're not honest with themselves, and they take no accountability for errors or mistakes. They don't grow. For those among us, it's time to deal with your life and see the hand you've had in it. So let's get real about your attitude. You have complete control over your life. If you don't agree with that, then it's because you don't realize the power you have. You do have complete control. There's two forces in your life, external forces and internal forces. External forces like traffic, bad weather, family obligations, and so on are coming at you whether you like it or not. Internal forces are how you react and respond to those external forces. Life is all about how you react and respond to situations. How do you react when shit hits the fan? As Tony says, by changing your reactions to what life offers you, you become someone who chooses what to accept, who creates the life they want to live. I'll give it to you straight. No one can change your attitude except for you. Only you can shift your thinking. Learn to recognize the things that don't matter so you can let them go. It's all about how you react to the situations. If someone cuts you off, let it go. Is there really any point in upsetting yourself? It doesn't really matter that much, does it? Think about it this way. Two people can encounter the same exact situation but react in completely different ways. So, first, become aware of how you're responding. And as Tony says, instead of living in denial and pointing fingers, do what you need to do and get on with fulfilling your purpose. Next, realize that roadblocks are a fact of life. Take ownership of the situation. Everyone is always trying to pass the buck, so take on Truman's motto, the buck stops here. Put aside petty excuses and tackle the problem. Think rationally and put aside your emotions for a moment. Don't just think positive, be proactive. Focus on the solution and have a strategy. Next, you want to avoid negative self-talk. Do you talk smack about yourself to yourself? I mean, how ridiculous is that, right? Instead, embrace having a positive internal dialogue. Remember this, your thoughts become your words and your words become your thoughts. So make sure that they both serve you. Next, always keep a sense of humor about a situation. Trust me, some stressful situations can be a great source of humor in the future. Think about some challenging experiences you've encountered and how funny they are to look back on years down the road. Would you rather laugh or cry at some of the ridiculous situations that life throws your way? Law 9 is about finding balance. You need to find a balance between work, rest, and fun. Learn when to say no and when to say yes. Tony states, don't say no when it comes from fear or laziness. Do say no when it comes from a need to take care of yourself. You want to say yes to opportunities. The goal of balance is to take advantage of opportunities for growth, to know your abilities and your limits, to protect yourself from harm and not get in your own way. Next, be in the moment. Be in the now. Most of the time we're worrying about the future or regretting the past. Instead, focus on the now. Learn the lessons of the past and leave the baggage behind you. Law 10, stay flexible. Plans constantly change and we need to learn how to adapt. Practice acceptance because it's the only way to grow and it's the only way to benefit from traumatic events. Also, look for meaning during hard times. We all face hard times, but what's important is how you react and how you view that event. When you can find meaning in a difficult situation, you can overcome it more easily. For more inspiration on this, read Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. I'll leave the book summary that I wrote in my links below. Next, you want to practice functional optimism. Are you a victim of circumstance? If you believe you're a victim, then you will be. If you focus on the negative, then that's what your world will be. This negativity becomes a spiral and reinforces those thought patterns. There's another way though, functional optimism. When hit with an unexpected obstacle, you have the power to deal with them realistically and with a plan. It's not just positive thinking, it's solution-minded mentality plus a realistic plan on how to handle it. And also, be flexible in your perspective. As Tony says, take in information from other people without judgment, respect and learn from different perspectives, and be willing to bend your rules without breaking them. You don't have to agree with someone else's values, but you can respect them. As long as you're not impeding on someone else's rights, then let people believe what they want to believe. Law 11, the 3 R's, recharge, recover, and relax. First of all, you need to recharge. You need to get the sleep you need to repair your body and your mind. Have a sleep sanctuary. Tony recommends taking out the TV, cutting out caffeine, and decompressing at the end of the day through reading or meditation instead of watching TV and looking at your phone. You want to set a regular bedtime and try some holistic sleep aids if necessary. Next is recover. When you're injured, give your body the time it needs to heal. If injured, still find a way to keep the breath and the blood moving, but also take care of yourself and give your body the time it needs to heal. Take the time to fix what's broken. And then next is relax. Find ways to reduce stress mentally, emotionally, and physically. Choose patience and curiosity over stress and defeat. As Tony says, take a swing and walk away having learned a lesson. You can panic and freak out all you want, but time will still pass and still happen, whether you stress out about it or not. Again, we choose how we respond. Calmly and rationally assess a troubled situation as it unfolds. Have fear, worry, and anxiety ever solved the problem? No, they only make the problem worse. So Tony's 5 steps to solve any problem. 1. Stop what you're doing. 2. Take a deep breath and try and clear your mind for a minute. 3. Once you're calm, reassess the situation rationally. It's not about you, it's about an external problem that you need to solve. Keep your ego out of it. 4. Consider the solutions. Look for a solution that will help in the short term and the long term. And 5. If you get a solution, great. If not, go back to step 1. Knowing you're on your way to resolution gets your mind right. Being solution-minded is half the battle. And then one last quote here by Tony. Whatever you do, make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. Don't spend your life chasing happiness by trying to impress your friends, family, and coworkers. True happiness happens when your priorities are honest and authentic. Do what you love. Have a purpose and plan. Attack them with intensity, consistency, and variety. Get real on reality. Stay balanced and flexible. Do your best and do it now. The future will sort itself out. Alright guys, that's it. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and throw a comment in the comment section. Thanks guys.